What's going on, YouTube? So, I wanted to talk about the current currency wars. It's currently on steroids as of right now. The reason is that the Japanese have figured out that, hey, we're running a big government right now, and what's the best way to stimulate our exports? To try to manufacture more than you import. And the way that you could do that is to have a weaker currency. But that's only a short-term solution. But this is what the Keynesians believe in. They believe in a weaker currency to try to artificially stimulate their exports. But the problem is other countries will retaliate, such as the United States. The United States have their number one on QE4 as of early next year, which will have $45 billion of outright monetization of U.S. Treasury bonds. That's right, Treasury bonds. I think most of you know that, but some of you guys don't. And the Japanese have done this for quite a while. They're on QE10 as of right now. And what they will continue to do is they will debase the currency, or they will attempt to debase the currency. So they have no budget, just like the United States. And on top of it, they will want a 2% inflation rate. And if the finance chairman decides not to do that over there, or the central banking chairman refuses to do so, the Japanese prime minister will make sure that they will have that 2% inflation rate. Now, here's the problem with Japan. The Japanese don't save anymore. They also run huge trade deficits. So that will eventually debase their currency into oblivion. It could be. Or it could just be a gradual depreciation of the yen, which is quite scary because if the bond vigilantes wake up in that country, then the interest rates will skyrocket. Not even skyrocket, they could go to 2, 3, 4%. What happens when that happens? Or what will happen to the Japanese budget deficit when that occurs? Well, first of all, they will be paying more than 23% of their expenditures for interest payments. Right now they pay 23%. But if it goes to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6%, they're done. They're going to be paying 30, 40, 50% for their budget expenditures. And on top of it, their budget last year was $90 trillion. And through revenues, they had half of it coming in. So the rest of it was borrowed or monetized in debt. So that shows you how insane the Japanese are right now when it comes to their finances. And the United States is closely behind. They're doing the same thing. And if the Japanese yen weakens to a certain point, the United States is going to issue more quantitative easing, or they're going to buy more bonds. So this is the insanity of the currency wars. Because if one country decides to debase the currency, other countries or other countries will follow. And this is what happened in the 1930s. For instance, the British, they wanted to devalue their pound to try to stimulate exports, so they got off the gold standard in 1931. What did Roosevelt do in 1933? He decided to revalue the price of gold from $20 an ounce to $35 an ounce. So, if you look at that, that's an example of currency wars of how it doesn't work. And then the French decided to debase the currency later in 1935, officially getting off of gold. So if you look at all of these things that the countries are doing, it's going to end up in a zero-sum game. These currency wars will not work. It will only be a short-term solution, and it's going to dig us even in a it's going to dig us in a bigger ditch than before. And this is what the Keynesian central planners will not tell us. They always keep on harping about a weaker dollar or a weaker currency to try to stimulate exports. But it will never work. Anyways, guys, what do you think about the latest currency wars? I've done some interviews and I've done some topics on this. So leave me your thoughts. Sorry. Hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll talk to you another time. I guess my cough isn't gone after all. It's just when I talk a lot. It's been happening since I've been sick. Anyways, thanks for listening to me, guys.